Welcome to Building Fortunes Radio. Make sure you check us out at buildingfortunesradio.com. Along with our marketing partners, we're here to help our PM Marketing Network Lead customers build their businesses and make the world a better place. At Building Fortunes, we know how much your business means to you and the people important to you. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world. Now on to our show with your host, Peter Mingils.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingils here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. It's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. For anybody that might be new and listening in, my name is Peter Mingils. I started this Building Fortunes Radio show a long time ago. It was towards the tail end of 2012, beginning part of 2013, because I wanted a platform and a microphone to do the things we're going to be doing over the next 30 minutes. I've been a big home-based business evangelist for a really long time. I really love the concept of being able to work from home. And I started doing this way back in the 1990s when it wasn't as popular as it may be today. So when we started Building Fortunes Radio, I wanted to get in that microphone and that platform to let you guys hear about the really great people in this industry. There are so many really super-duper good ones that you just don't know. And I am super-duper excited about this specific radio show because it's going to be a regular radio show that we do. A great friend of ours, her name is Sue Brenchley. Now, I met Sue, oh my God, I'm getting so old, a long time ago through a friend of ours. Her name is always Kim Claver. And Kim is a good friend of mine, and she, I guess, either put me in a book or whatever it was, or said, hey, you got to talk to Peter. So Sue called me up, and we just kind of hit it off right away. She is one of those kinds of people, really good, hardworking, honest person. So we started speaking and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. We'd had a relationship, if you will, as a business relationship for many years. I don't even want to say maybe a decade or more, but I don't know. It's been like a really long time. And recently she started a new project with a specific thing, and I said, you know what? I have to make sure that people know about this. Lots of reasons why. In great times, people need to know about Sue Brenchley. In maybe transitional times, which I think a lot of people are probably in right now with the coronavirus thing, that's going on, and the whole home-based business evolution or revolution that, that's going on, and that whole, there's lots of people that are trying to figure it out thing going on. You really need to work with people that you know, like, and trust, and Sue could be that person for you. I'll share with you. It's been a wonderful experience. We're working with a group of her people right now, and if you are looking for a home-based business or a great product line to get associated with, there is no other person on this planet that you can pick that would be a better choice than Sue and the people that probably referred you as well. But I'm going to give you, guys and gals, a chance to hear from her personally as we kind of delve into a few of our radio shows on Building Fortunes Radio. So, Sue, thanks for being here.
Oh, Peter, I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you.
This is a game changer for me and a lot of other people as well. And the reason why I say this is we have spoken before and we've worked together before, and then we haven't, meaning like you were doing your thing or stuff got in the way, or I was doing my thing or stuff got in the way, and then all of a sudden, more than less likely, just recently, we started to help you with a specific website, and I know you're building a great platform, and I just get kind of like a bounce in my step when I hear your voice, because I know there's so many really good things behind the things that you're doing. I don't want to sound like I'm over flattering you, but I am. You're a really good person. You're a hard worker. You care about your people. You got the right stuff. You've been successful in this industry. If anybody's looking for a coach or a mentor, they can pick you. Now, I just said it, but can you share with people a little bit about your background, please?
I can. I'm one of those accidental networkers. There are a lot of us out there that a little over 30 years ago, someone invited me to some information. It made sense. There was no risk, money-back guarantees. I love network marketing because of that. And, I don't know why we're so confused about why network marketing is such a great option. But anyway, long story short, 30 years ago, I got involved with the product. And like most people, it sounded like a great way to get my product for free and maybe make a little money. And then as I got introduced to the industry, as I started, somebody would share this book or that book, and then you would listen to the stories of average, normal people who had found success, and not only success, but more than success in this industry through helping people. And I became addicted. I really am that person that I love what I do. And so over the last 30 years, I've been super lucky. And I know that timing and all kinds of things play into it. But when you can find really great products and companies to represent, and then you find great mentors, which is what I did my first 4 years in this industry, I can tell you some of the people that had the biggest impact. And it started out because I would say, show me how you did what you did. And that's what our industry is about, is finding people. This isn't, I know that there's a lot of get-rich-quick hype stuff out there, and, you know, it just makes people afraid. And you know what I'm excited about, Peter, is I think that this transition period that we're going through right now is going to do two things. One, it's going to expose the imposters. But number two, it's going to elevate our profession, because it has grown through the non-technology years into the technology years, so that right now is the best time for any of us to have the ability to accomplish what network marketing was designed to do. And as I move into what I call my Hope During Change project that I'm doing with you right now, I have never been so excited about what we are going to do to empower people to take back their lives and live the lives that they were supposed to be able to live.
Excellent. Now I'm going to ask you to do a little bit of bragging on yourself, because I know who you are and the stuff that you've done, and you're not going to say it, so I got to pull it out of you. When you started this, you know, tell us a little bit about your track history, your successes, maybe some of your failures, some of the challenges, stuff like that. So not that you can explain 30 years in, 5 minutes, but, paint a picture of some of the things you've been through.
Okay. So when I kind of had the Cinderella story up front, where I was the first company that I was involved in was the very first wild yam cream, and nobody knew about that. Nobody was talking about hormones, and it was magical. It was magnetic to be able to have a conversation with people about PMS, which affects everybody's lives, right? And
Yep.
so, within 6 months, I had a downline of over 3,000 people, and I had replaced my part-time job income. And that doesn't happen for very many people, but it happens when you find something that has that big of a story, something that is that huge for people to do. And mind you, this was at the end of the 80s, first of the 90s time period. No internet, no cell phones. I mean, it was no flat rate long distance. It was a time when building a business was a lot different than it is today, and we didn't have that ability to go viral as easy as we do now. But it was that moment in time where I went, oh my gosh, look at the people's lives that I'm affecting. And there was a very important story for me where I had a dream about the ripple effect that this would have over time, over 30 to 40 years, by what I was sharing, how it would be affecting generations to come. And so then my next company that I got into, 1998, it was a startup company, and I'm proud to say that 22 years later, I still receive a monthly residual check from work that I did for pretty much about 4 years. I built that company for 4 years, and to this day, I still get a monthly residual check from what I did. Then I took a break in the industry. My father became ill, and he was not going to survive long. And so I decided that I had this great residual income opportunity to be able to spend time with my family. And What I didn't anticipate was that I lost my father in 2003, I lost my sister in 2004, and my mother in 2006. So basically, in a span of 3 years, the majority of my family passed away. And, but imagine the comfort of having residual income through that process, to be able to be present with my family through times like that. And then after we got everything taken care of and, I was emotionally stable again, then I started around 2007 going, okay, I've got to find something to put my energy toward. And obviously it came back to network marketing. And so I started looking, and it took me a while. It took me, this time I had to kind of kiss some frogs. And even though I had a company that I could have stepped back into, I was looking for that next challenge. And so in the beginning of 2009, I found my forever home. And, it's like a lot of times, I'm not the Ferrari girl. I'm not the person who you're going to see on social media all the time. I'm the person that wants to have the conversations with the real people, and I want to see them win. That is who I am. And so it is kind of hard for me to talk about the money, but last year I actually made it into the $10 million club for our company, and it has been absolutely amazing to take a product. We've now opened 33 countries because we're the only place in the world that you can get our product. And so it has been such a labor of love, and at the same time, so many blessings. I mean, generations will be impacted, not just for education and information and products and opportunity, but that is what drives me. So I have very, very much found amazing success in this industry. Just the average person with a high school diploma, mind you.
Wow, excellent information. So I'm gonna ask to underline one thing. When you said the $10 million club, you're probably not referencing that your organization sold $10 million worth of stuff. You're probably referencing that your income.
Yep. My income surpassed $10 million last year.
Now that's huge. Now the only reason why I mention that because you're a super nice person, super great person, and I think sometimes about opportunities that people have when they do a career. And if you're a good school teacher, like a really good school teacher, you might make $40,000 or $60,000 for the year. You might. Do you know how old you have to live to be able to accumulate $10 million if you're making $40,000 or $60,000 a year? Like, you have to live a really long time.
Well, and you know what's funny? It's funny that you say school teacher, because when I was in high school, I actually got a very unique scholarship called the State Normal Scholarship, which was full tuition, books, supplies, everything for 4 years. And they were rare, but I got that. And then as I was the second year into my education, I decided that being married and having babies was much more important to me than finishing my education. So I still can't believe that I didn't finish, but I didn't. And there was a point in time in network marketing where my husband didn't have the same vision that I did. And he didn't see as much of what the tax benefits were saving us. He was looking at the dollars in the paycheck, and he was comparing things to, he would go to work. And I love the fact that my husband was an incredibly great provider, but he was definitely, we came from that rich dad, poor dad mentality where he was focused on job and I was focused on possibility. And there was a time where he was like, go finish your career and get a real job. And we had to have this conversation that I finally told him, I said, look, what is the most, even if I went and got a master's degree, what is the most earning potential that I would have in that career versus what I can do with the possibilities of this? And so I made him agree, look, wouldn't you rather have me do what I love, even if it made a little bit less? But wouldn't you want me to be happy and do what I love as long as I don't put us at financial risk? And so he finally kind of backed off. And then one day, I have to tell this story. One day I said to him, I said, honey, I think it's time that we get you a new snowmobile. And he looked at me. It's like, okay. So we found the snowmobile, and the guy said, okay, how do you want to finance that? And I said, oh, I'm not going to finance it. I'm just going to pay cash. And my husband looked at me and he says, how much are you making? And I said, oh, that's what I made last week. And, you know, it was a whole big thing because I was the person who took care of the finances. And so he wasn't paying any attention. He was just happy doing his thing. And that is real life crazy stories. And now it's like what I get to be able to do with wealth generation and helping people, starting a foundation, doing all kinds of things that are so dear to my heart is so amazing.
Excellent. Great information. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to take a little commercial break. I'm so happy you shared that part of your life because I know I got to drag it out of you. But because, you know, it might sound like bragging, but when you can kind of back it up, I mean, Sue Brenchley did a great job. So we're going to be right back on Building Fortunes Radio.
Thanks for listening to Building Fortunes Radio. If you sell a product or service, then you should check out PM Marketing's NetworkLeads.com. Just visit www.networkleads.com. For over 18 years, PM Marketing has helped distributors build their home-based businesses through lead generation, website development, automated email delivery systems, and sales training. If you're looking for a way to increase your skills and increase the number of people that see your product or opportunity, NetworkLeads.com can help. To learn more, visit www.networkleads.com. Ask about their lead management system, capture pages, personalized website, MLM training, humongous blogs, the humongous classified ad network, Building Fortunes Radio, or their webinar schedule. NetworkLeads.com can be your one-stop shop for everything you need. And now, back to our show.
And we are back. Peter Mingils here. You're listening to Building Fortunes Radio. This is a special segment we're doing with our great friend Sue Brenchley. She has been in home-based businesses network marketing for, as you heard, for over 30 years. And I wanted you to hear a little bit about some of the stuff that she talks, some of her life, if you will. And there's plenty of it. In 30 years, you have tons of stories of people that you've helped. Out of the conversations that we've always had, it was never really focused on you. It was always focused on, here's what we're doing to help build our team. You know, this is what we're working on to help build my group. And you're always been focused on other people. So for those people listening in, if you were invited by somebody else or you're invited by Sue specifically, I mean, this is the mentality of the people that she's working with, the company that she's working with, and the different tools that we're building. We're building a little bit. She's doing a whole bunch of other stuff on the other side. So I want to go back to one of the things you said a little bit earlier. When your first level of success, you had a few thousand people in a few months as a result of getting started and people getting excited. That was literally when we were paying 21 cents or 25 cents per minute for a long-distance phone call. And some of you might be listening in and said, oh, God, I remember that one. That's right. You used to have to pay long distance. And that was there was no such thing really as the Internet, and I don't even think fax machines were really very popular back then. So you were able to do that in basically slow motion. Talk to me about today, because there are so many things that are coming together to help anybody listening in take advantage of the technology, the timing, either the positive situations, the negative situations. Talk to me about what you're building and how people can start to actually build a global business and maybe get where they want to be. So let's start off with what you said first, replacing their part-time income here, or maybe their full-time income eventually, how they might be able to do that with what you have going on right now. So talk to us a little bit about what you're developing and how that might help our crowd.
Okay, so it is all about systems at the beginning. It's like this is an industry where we get to earn while we learn, but we only succeed at that if there's a great system in place. So 30 years ago, the system was buy 100 cassette tapes, get those 100 cassette tapes out to people. If the message is strong, if the message makes sense, if people can see themselves benefiting from that message, that's when you end up with amazing things. And so we had one of those messages back then. We called it Secrets your mother never told you because no one told her. And it went viral. And but again, it was slow mail, it was in person, all of those things that kind of got in the way. And that's why the ability to create humongous incomes in this generation of people is exacerbated so much because look at my system now. When we look at people getting in, you've got to get people in. You've got to teach them a system that is dependent on tools, telling the story the same way every single time. That is what will create duplication. And without duplication in this industry, then you don't have success. And so everything that I do looks at it and says, anybody can go get somebody that's had previous success, bring in a team and create a check for a while. In our industry, we kind of have two ways that people come into the industry now. You could go recruit somebody like me who has been here for 30 years, and obviously I'm going to be able to create things faster than the normal person. But what everybody keeps forgetting is we all have to start somewhere. Sue started 30 years ago somewhere. And so my focus has always been on how do we make the average person in the neighborhood succeed. And you can only do that by teaching them an effective system up front and then allow them to grow through leadership and personal development over time. But if we don't get some money moving through those people's checkbooks first, then that is when people give up. So it all depends on us doing something like I'm doing with you. And, it was funny. I was actually had a news channel on this morning while I was doing a power hour with my group. And one of the things that they were talking about was, look, we're getting to the end of the $600 per week boost that the government has given us during this COVID thing. And I keep hearing people talk about they're making more money staying home because the government is sending them these $600 checks plus unemployment than they were when they were working. So nobody has any incentive to go be self-reliant right now. It's like we're beholden to the government. And I was sitting there thinking about what one of the messages that I try to get out to people is, look, there are 3 income steps in network marketing. And most people never get past 1 or 2, and that's okay because you get where you want to go. You get what you can see. You get your heart's desire in life. And so the first income step that we all have to learn and teach and grow past is just $500 a month. And we know that $500 a month changes lives. Then the second step is $500 a week. You've got to know what rank do you need to get to in your business. What do you have to do to get to that $500 a week? Because this is what I know. When I can get people to that position, when I get people making that money, that's when their world opens up. It doesn't mean that they can quit their job. It just means they can live a better life. And then ultimately we want to get people to $500 a day, which is getting to that 6-figure income level that most people, even with the best jobs, never see. So my passion is being able to do that. And you do that through your initial message. And that's what we're doing with this project with you. Hope during change. It's like I want people to be able to go talk about 3 things: health, wealth, and happiness. If we can teach people to dream again. And that these are the three things. When people have their health, when they have some extra money, some form of wealth, those are the things that tie into happiness. And they are also the robbers of happiness. If one of those fell in your life, then happiness starts disappearing. So everything that I'm doing is empowering people to go talk about those three things and then teach people some simple things that can fit in the cracks of their lives that can become game changers for their future.
That is excellent information. So we're going to call this radio show Hope During Change. So if you go to buildingfortunesradio.com/Hope During Change, you're going to be able to hear this as well as the future radio shows that we'll be doing sometime, like I said, in the future. So, Sue, we got about 2 minutes left. So anybody that might be looking, again, plugging in with you and the people on your team will get your support and all those types of things. We want people to, if they were referred here, go back to the person who referred them naturally and kind of learn more about what's going on, because there really is a great opportunity here in all the types of situations that are going on where a lot of people are sincerely looking, and they're sincerely looking worldwide. The freaky thing, Sue, is I talk to people from different countries, and when this whole coronavirus thing started happening, I would talk to people from the UK, and people in England would say, oh, yeah, they're closing down the restaurants and they're doing this and they're doing that. And people in Middle Eastern countries would say, yeah, they're closing down the restaurants and they're closing down this and we can't do the weddings outside anymore. And when I talk to people in, maybe Southeast Asia, they were saying things. In Australia, they were saying things. I'm like, holy cow, it's worldwide. It's almost like we're all in the same place. It's worldwide. How are you doing whatever you're doing? They're like, we haven't figured it out yet. So there's wonderful opportunities here globally. You had an opportunity in the United States in the community you're working with and brought in a few thousand. You can see how people can come in by the thousands super quick because they need to. But you couldn't do that if you had to do it one at a time. You need those systems. So the power of those systems are super duper important. And Sue, I just really appreciate you being here. So I'm going to let you wrap it up. You got a minute? And then we're going to play our exit, and then we're going to be back. And I know you're jumping on a call with your leaders and all the other sort of stuff, and I want to welcome you here, and anybody else who wants to listen in, make sure you check her out. So, Sue, back to you.
I just want to end with talking about change for just a minute, because one of the things that I am teaching right now is there's gradual change and there's event change. And gradual change happens over time, and you look back and you go, oh my gosh, look at this phone compared to what I was using. We just had a conversation about gradual change from cassette tapes to apps and instantaneous information that is free to disseminate in our world today. That is gradual change. Event change is what happened on 9/11. It's what happened in 2008. It's what happened. It is going to define 2020. And the event change that we are in right now is the most impactful event change in our history, because it is global, and it is going to take people who are going to learn how to lift other people. There is no government strong enough to lift us out of what is going to happen. And what I'm so grateful for is that my foundation in this industry, my foundation in building people, is really what is going to make the difference. It's us pulling together, those of us who have been in this industry, who are new to this industry, who are going to have ways to shore up families, who are going to talk to them about how to support their immune systems, how to support their financial integrity as we proceed, because there is hope after this pandemic. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. Make sure you check her out, buildingfortunesradio.com/hope during change. We'll see you next time on Building Fortunes Radio.
You've been listening to Building Fortunes Radio on buildingfortunesradio.com. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check us out every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the designated Building Fortunes Radio segment with Peter Mingils. Be sure to check out the BuildingFortunesRadio.com website for our featured segments. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. At Building Fortunes Radio, we wish you the success you deserve and are willing to work for. So spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.